Hey first grade, it's Miss Becky. Today we're going to be doing lesson 29 in math. And in this lesson, we're going to see what happens to a set when 0 objects are removed or taken away. So this should be a pretty quick lesson because we have gone over this in calendar some. But I want to start our lesson today with just a quick review, some counting. So I want you to count with me, and we're going to count by tens. So you can just sit there and count, or if you want to stand up and do what we normally do, our jumping jacks. Okay, so count by tens. Make sure you count out loud so I can hear you. Ready and count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay? Now, can you guess? We're going to count by fives. Okay, so remember, when we count by fives, we snap, clap, snap, clap. Ready? Let's go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Good job. Let's also, just for a quick review, let's say our even and odd rhymes. Okay, so let's start with our even rhyme. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Being even is really great. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. You're being odd like Frankenstein. Okay, so I want to start the lesson today with a story problem. So I've written out a story problem. Okay, let me show you what it is here. All right. So I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to listen as we read it and we act out the story problem here. Okay? Here it is. 4 bunnies were sitting on a hill. 2 of the bunnies hopped down the hill to go home. How many bunnies are left on the hill? So, boys and girls, what does the question, and we know this is our question because we see a question mark, what does the question ask you to find? That's right, it asks you to find how many bunnies are left on the hill. Okay, so now we're going to read the story again. Okay, and now as we read it, I'm going to act it out right here. Okay, so the first sentence says, 4 bunnies were sitting on a hill. So Miss Becky has drawn little bunnies on these little clothespins. See the little faces? So we have 1, 2 bunnies, 3, and 4. Again, I'm just reading this word problem. Okay? So how many bunnies were sitting on the hill at the beginning of the story? 4. Okay? And what happened to this set of bunnies? Okay, well, if we read the second sentence, it tells us that 2 of the bunnies hopped down the hill to go home. Okay, so 2 bunnies went down the hill to go home. How can we represent this information? How can we show that with our set? Okay, well, we can move 2 bunnies away, right? So let's show that. 1 bunny hops away, and 2 hop away down the hill to go home. Okay, so how many bunnies are left on the hill? 2 bunnies. So boys and girls, for this, did we use addition, adding, which is, remember, joining two sets, or did we use subtraction, which is some went away? That's right, we used subtraction. And how do we know? Because, look, there are fewer or less bunnies on the hill now than at the beginning of the story, okay? So subtraction shows that two bunnies separated. Remember, the two bunnies that were here, they separated or they went home, okay? So if we wanted to represent this story with a number sentence, okay, we know it's going to be for subtraction, right? So let's put our little bunnies back, okay? And our first number in our word problem is 4. 4 bunnies were sitting on a hill. So what number do we need to write first? That's right, 4. Okay? And then we know that 2 of the bunnies hopped down the hill to go home. So there goes 1, 2. So if it's subtraction, do we need plus or minus? That's right, we need a minus. Okay? This is our minus sign, which minus, remember, means to take away. Okay, some went away. And how many went away? 2 of the bunnies. So our next number is 2. And then we have equals, okay? And how many do we have left on the hill? 2. That's right, okay? So we would read it as 4 minus 2 equals 2. Okay, let's real quick, boys and girls, let's look at this number sentence and let's tell the meaning of each number and each sign, okay? So the number 4 right here tells how many bunnies were where? On the hill, right? Okay? And the minus sign shows that some of the bunnies left, right? That minus means we're taking away. The number 2 tells how many bunnies left, and we know that 2 hopped away. And then this equal sign shows that 4 minus 2 is the same as the answer, okay? And the number 2 here tells how many bunnies were left, okay? So there were 2 bunnies left on the hill. Okay, so some went away. And remember, you showed yesterday when you were doing your subtraction sentences, we showed crossing it out. So sometimes they'll show you a picture, okay? So let's just erase this number sentence, okay? And you might just have a picture, so I'm just going to show it with circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? We could use a picture to represent the word problem. Okay, 4 bunnies were sitting on a hill, and 2 of the bunnies hopped down the hill to go home. So remember yesterday we crossed them out. 1, 2. Okay, and how many were left? 2. Okay, again, what's the big number? What's the whole number that we started with? We started with 4. We know some went away, that's minus. We crossed out 2 because 2 hopped away. Equals, and how many were left? 2. Okay? So, let's take this away, and I'm going to now read another story problem. Sometimes you'll hear story problem or you'll hear word problem. Okay? So I'm going to sit this here for a second. All right. So, listen to the next story problem. 3 bunnies were resting in the sun. Okay, so what number do we start with? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what's our first number? 3. Okay, matches our picture, matches our story problem. 3 bunnies were resting in the sun. Their mommy called them home, but none of the bunnies wanted to leave and go home. How many bunnies stayed resting in the sun? Okay, well, we know that 3 bunnies were resting in the sun at first. Okay, and how many bunnies did the mommy try to get to go home? She tried to get 3, right? But no bunnies left. So minus, because mom was trying to get them to come home, but how many bunnies left? 0. Equals, if we had 3 and no bunnies left, none went away, how many do we still have resting in the sun? That's right, 3. Okay? So, I want to show you, okay, a rule, okay, and it's a pretty easy one. It's one that we've gone over before. But look at this, okay? All right. So this rule, if you can't see it all, I'll read it to you, says that when 0 is subtracted from a number, the answer or difference, that's a big vocabulary word you're going to hear in math, is the same as the original set or whole. Okay, so let me explain what this means. We've talked about addition when we're adding, and you always hear Miss Becky say the sum, S-U-M. Remember, the sum is the answer when you join 2 sets together, when you're adding. But when we are subtracting, the minus, we're going to not say the word sum, we're going to say the what? The difference. Okay, so when you hear the difference, you know that we're going to be subtracting. So again, the rule is when 0 is subtracted from a number, the answer or difference is the same as the original set or whole. That means here's our beginning set, okay? And when 0, that means nothing, right? Nothing, 0, is subtracted from our set, the answer or the difference, which is here, is going to be the same as the original, right? Because nothing changed. 0 does not change the number. Okay, so boys and girls, today you're going to be doing your workbook page, and it's pretty simple. You're going to be subtracting 0, and then you're also going to see something almost just like this rule. So when you subtract 0, your answer is, you're going to answer if it's more than you started with, less than you started with, or the same. And we know when we subtract 0, the answer or the difference is going to be the same as the number we started with. Can't wait to see you soon. I'm counting down the days. Miss you. Bye.